them chickens.
Speaking of chickens.
Speaking of chickens, how to pretty much deal with fear and how to have a calm mind and how to approach such a sea monster, and in some cases doing tricks with us. How do we approach it, and how do we neutralize it, and how do we go forward with a brave heart? You might ask, why do these guys want to talk about fear in such a beautiful place with green water and palm trees? Because it's always easy to talk about sun shining and beach and everything well in such a beautiful and tropical heavenly place, but let's try to work on the one thing that manifests itself in everybody's life all the time.
Fear is something that freezes us in life. It handicaps us. It petrifies us. And a lot of people fear many things. There's fear of the unknown. There's fear of our own power. There's fear of failure. There's fear of success. There's fear of getting robbed. There's fears that are endless. But what does fear really do is it robs us of our present flow. It robs us of living in the moment, and it robs us of feeling safe in this universe. Wow, check it out!
Wow, what is this? Amazing, it's an abandoned boat. And we can relate to it because it's whatever's not dealt with looks like an abandoned, rusty old boat in the middle of the tropical ocean. Looks like a very picturesque symbol of our fears that are abandoned. See the tides coming in, but the boat's not going anywhere. And if we don't deal with it, don't resolve the issues, they're going to be abandoned by our consciousness.
Last night I had a dream that I had a second chance to rebuild my house from the foundation up. And this time, while people were taking pity on me, I turned around and said, as long as I have learned what I had to learn, then this is the last time I'll have to build my house. The foundation is important. From the ground up, it has to be solid. And fear is the holes. Fear is the unfinished business. Fear is undone, unfinished, and stuck and stagnant. How many abandoned rooms are there in your unconscious mind? How many fears have been abandoned and disowned? And how much empty, rotting, deteriorating moments are stuck within our subconscious? I think it is time to shed some light on these walls, on these rooms. It's time to paint it once again, to rebuild it from the ground up, to work on the foundation. And the potential is amazing. It's not scary to rebuild. It's beautiful because once the house is up once again, it's going to be the house of your dream.
You gotta remember that you're the one that has to build the bridge. Build it however you want, whatever color you want. It's beautiful. Just look around you. It is the bridge of your own making that you choose to build. But you have to choose to build it. Keep walking. As you can tell sometimes, the things are emerging outside of the unknown. As things come up, we have to be there at that moment in time to deal with it. We cannot allow it to linger or to take day or week or year or whatever. I mean, in most cases, it's hard to deal with things right away, but it's important to recognize it. And it's important to act on resolving the issue as soon as it comes up. Because the longer it lingers, like the house you just visited, it can have its own rules. It can develop a life of its own. can pretty much create whatever your imagination is capable of, because in the end it's your house. So you gotta clean the rooms, you gotta deal with the issues, and you gotta allow yourself to be brave, allow yourself to go into them and to recognize them and to take action. Multi-layered. It's a multi-layered bridge.
And it is like an onion. You begin with the first layer and then the second layer. But don't get discouraged, because there will be a moment when the root cause of your fears will be uncovered. And that is freedom.
Fear cannot hold you down. It's kind of like you're fighting for your survival. Being ready to do whatever it takes. To finalize our ideas, we were flying in an airplane. There was a movie showing, Rise of the Guardians. It's an amazing movie. The time and place and just everything about that movie was perfect. It was about magic. So there was obviously the good magic characters, and there was a boogeyman. So the thing about those magic characters was that if you believe in them, they become visible. That was the drive. The bottom line is that everybody was scared of kids not believing in them. And finally, when one kid was faced with the boogeyman, he stood up to him and said, "I know you exist, but I'm just not scared of you." And that, to me, is the golden piece of truth that fear is all about. It's there, so you have to turn to it and say, "I know you're there. I know that these things can happen, but I'm just not scared of you. I know that the plane could fall. I know that there's a shark in the ocean, but I'm not scared of it." All these things are fears, but you have to turn around and say, "I know you're there, but I'm not scared of you. I'm still going to go forward."
Acknowledging your fear is one of the most important things, because it is there, but you're also always there. And if your fears are going to stop you from taking the next step forward, then what kind of a life is that? That is prison to me. And yes, we all have fears, but we also have courage inside. Maybe it is disowned, but it's there. And it's worth going on a quest to gain your power back, to empower yourself, to gain your courage back. Summon these qualities back to yourself and take a step forward in your life. It is okay to be faced with the waters of the unconscious, with the unknown. There shouldn't be anything bad about the exciting feeling of facing something that you don't know.
So it's good to sit down and just go deep within yourself and go one by one. Take one fear at a time. Look at it. Look at yourself being scared of it. Look at yourself manifesting and then say, "I know you're there, but I'm just not scared of you anymore." And ask your fear, "What message do you have for me?" Ask, what is it trying to tell you? Because in the end, that's what it really means to be truly free. So now it's time to run into the unknown.